What up? And welcome back to another episode of Gritty Knows Best, baby. That's right. That's right. Oh, yeah. Tonight, we are going to be getting a little update about Mo's angry neighbor. We're also going to be talking about some topical things that are going on in the world today. Something that we don't normally do, but we're going to do it tonight. We're going to be talking about a story of a woman who was catfished for 10 years, only to find out that it was not only that she was getting catfished, but by somebody she knew very, very well. So that's going to be very interesting. And we're going to be giving a little special announcement early on in the show. So make sure you're ready for that. But before we get into any of that, let me introduce who we got with us tonight. According to one of the guys, that this is the Dark Triad of the show, right? That's our new group name.
Apparently.
And the guy that said that is this man. As you can hear the crows. Maybe there may be a crow at your window right now if you're listening to this. Maybe a crow following you on the bus in the morning because this man has arrived.
I'm watching you, baby.
None other than
going on.
People call him Edgar Allan Moe, Momo Popkins, Momo Rogers, the Crow. You can just call him Mo.
What's going on? What's going on? The Crow is here. What's up?
That's right. The Crow is here. We also have another guy here. He is a YouTube legend, a current YouTube superstar, the greatest pop collector of all time, the big progy, the artist formerly known as Simfuckus, Justin.
Oh, what a terrific audience.
Oh, what a terrific audience.
Have you heard about this? What a great audience.
And you have your mic in the proper position now, huh?
Yes, because I feel like a fucking retard.
Whoa, tell everybody why you feel that way.
For the past year, I've been using my mic talking through the top, and it's supposed to be standing up.
And who enlightened you on that fact?
I noticed it last week on the last episode when I saw Zach doing it.
Shout out to Zach.
If you missed that episode, go check it out.
We're going to talk about that in just a moment, actually. So
Yeah.
We'll get to that. Zach showed you the way.
He did.
So now, do you feel better?
I feel much better.
Okay. All right. Do you sound better in your headphones to you? Do you like the way you sound? Or you'll hear it back?
Sounds the same to me.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, Mo.
What's up?
As you all know, if you heard the Valentine's Day episode, we talked about Mo having issues with his neighbor at the end of that episode because him and his girlfriend were having sexual relations a little too often and a little too loud for his neighbor. And she was screaming and she was cursing and complaining. Mo said he would maybe give us an update, and apparently he has one. So why don't you take it away, pal?
Yeah, what's up, everybody? All right, so this is some good shit.
What's up?
All right.
What's up, bro?
What's up? So everybody who doesn't know, my birthday, just passed last
Happy
weekend.
birthday!
Yeah. February 11th. So we threw a party at my crib, and it was going good. It was going good. So I get a text message, and I forgot I had this girl on Messenger from last year when I first met her. So she messaged me, and I show it to my sister, who was at the party, who threw the party for me, and my girl. And she's now texting. She's texting the other girl. So I'm not even
the girl being your neighbor.
No.
Oh.
I'm saying my girlfriend's sister.
Yeah.
So she's
Who was texting you?
Yeah, who's texting
Yeah,
you?
you said the girl
neighbor.
started texting me. Your neighbor,
Yeah,
you had
neighbor,
your neighbor
yes.
on Messenger, and she started texting
from last
you.
year.
About
Yeah.
what? What did she say?
Oh, so she's talking about. Let me let's get to this shit real quick.
Yeah, what did your neighbor say? Give us the details.
Yeah, we want the details.
Skimp on the
Hold on, let me get
details.
it.
All right, so now we
Let's
got
get
everything set up. Justin, you enjoying your cookies? We'll get to that later. Justin's been eating.
All right. So this is. Tell me when you're ready.
We're
Joe.
ready.
All right.
What?
She's like, I needed to put my kid down soon, and all I can hear all throughout my house is banging and screaming and children crying. Not a first either. Now, first of all, for those who don't know this, I don't have kids, right? So I don't have kids, and the people that was here was my family, and they just came here on that Friday.
Right.
So,
but you had kids in the house that time.
Bullshit.
Right. You had kids in the house at the time. But what you're saying is, What you're saying is it had to be a first because you never had kids there before that.
Exactly.
So what are you talking about? It's not a first.
Exactly. So she already turned up the bullshit, made it sound like something she already was. So it was obvious that she wanted to put down some messages down so she can tell the landlord. But dummy, like the landlord knows that I don't have kids. Anyway, so my family's here. My landlord knew that I was doing a party, all that shit like that. And we chilling. I'm drunk. You know what I'm saying? We're outside smoking. So everybody is chilling. Everybody's chilling, and she just continues. So my sister, she continues to text her, and they talking back and forth. So I'm not gonna go too crazy. So Shorty called me for like 1 second, and I didn't even feel it. You know what I'm saying? So
Shorty called you, your neighbor?
Yeah.
Can we just say your neighbor? We're saying Shorty and all these names.
Yeah, I'm not. She don't have a name.
Okay, but I'm saying just say my neighbor.
Yeah.
I keep in my name.
Shorty called me. I didn't even feel it.
Yeah, like what? What does that mean?
It means exactly what it means.
Shorty called me.
So my neighbor calls me and she's complaining. Continuing to complain on the text message, but my sister's texting her. She's telling her, yo, basically, all right, we're throwing a party for my brother. This is what's happening. This is not something we do all the time. So the landlord knows. So if you have any problem, you can make your complaints, all that shit. And that just continues. But she stopped texting. We made our point. She tried to throw her threats in, but we like laughed it off.
Threatening you or what?
With the complaint, it was gonna do some shit.
Okay.
Yeah, right. So anyway, the party ends about 2:00 in the morning. I'm still there. I decided to sleep over at my girl's house on all the way into Monday. So yeah, I was sleeping and I come back to my crib and my mom tells me, she's like, oh, somebody knocked on our door. I was like, who was it? It was some white guy with some curly hair. He said, can you please shut the he said, can you please shut up? And I'm like, So now my mom's face is getting heated. So anybody that knows my mom knows that she's about that life. Thomas knows. So she's already like, she already has me laughing because she's like, I'm like, yo, what do you tell him? She said, I told him, you shut the fuck up and slammed the door in his face.
I'm about to say, I know your mom didn't just take that.
So I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay. So I'm thinking to myself, like, all right, maybe I gotta handle it. But like everybody was talking to me, like, nah. Your mom already made it be known, like that they ain't nothing gonna happen. Like she's gonna come out if she has to. Everybody's gonna have to come out. So I was like, all right. They heard it. They ain't complain. They ain't gonna do nothing stupid. They not gonna knock on my door. They're not stupid to knock on my door. So that was pretty much the end of that shit. Other than the extra fact that I actually saw my landlord, and he was talking to me. He's like, because the way she made it seem to him was that like, oh, this is always happening, and I'm always making noises.
Well, she's probably talking about the fucking.
That doesn't happen all the time because I'm not always in the house.
Right. But I'm assuming that's what she means because she was.
That's what she's. That's exactly what she's complaining about. But she can't. She don't want to say that to the landlord. Say that to the landlord. So she's making it sound like that. So when I talked to the landlord, he was like, "Oh, just be mindful because she has a kid." And I turned around to her. I was like, "You know what? I haven't even said anything about her problems on her other side of the wall." But I was like, first of all, no one said anything about her and her boyfriend fighting and throwing each other against the wall and domestic abuse in front of their own child. So what the fuck are we talking about?
Did you tell the landlord that?
Yeah, I'm like, yo, so what the fuck are we talking about? So like,
air out your stuff now.
Yeah, like get the fuck out of my face with that. So I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do, and she can suck my dick. That's what it is what it is. And if she wants to throw hands, she can throw hands. I got bitches for that. Like, what's up?
There we go. You got bitches for that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I already know what it is. So that was, my Valentine's extra shit. So
getting crazy over there, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. When you said that your sister texted her, I thought it was like some confrontational stuff. She was just trying to quell this. She was trying to like just ease it up. She was trying to.
Yeah. So even Kim. So this is what happened. when Kim came around and they
Yeah, I
D
missed
told
Kim when I went there. I was gonna say I saw she was in the picture and I was like, damn, I missed Kim too. I wasn't sticking around for that.
yeah, it was lit. They were asking about you. Um and fucking she was here. Kim heard the whole shit outside and about the thing, and she went outside and knocked on Shorty's door. She's like, no, let's talk about it like adults, because it don't have to be nothing. Like it could be something else. And I'm like, yo, that's the whole fact. Like I agree with her whole thing that let's be peaceful about it. But Shorty,
she was coming in peace. Okay.
Like yeah, and I would have came about it in peace, but Shorty was acting extra when
already acting up.
Yeah, already acting up and like fronting on the whole thing where like she knows she has her own personal things, and I've kept that to my chest as neighbors. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like if I'm keeping your business to my chest and I'm not spreading your business, mind you not spread mine. You know what I'm saying? Or not make a big deal out of my
especially
business.
if that's one party you're having.
Exactly.
You don't have parties here. Every time we have a party, it's at your girlfriend's house.
Yeah, pretty much. We're doing it. And the only thing I ever had over here was a Halloween
Oh, yeah,
party.
you had that one party, right? Correct.
And that was not even really more a party. This was definitely more of a party.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was definitely more of a party.
Way more of a party. You're right.
Yeah. The Halloween was like a hangout shit.
Yeah.
But this was definitely family. Everybody coming out. Everybody fucking enjoyed it. Everybody
it was a good time.
It.
And I had to leave early, but it was a good time when I was there. I'm sure it got way later when everybody else came in.
Nah, you came after, man. I wish you came like...
What do you mean I came after?
Bro,
I came before.
You came on Saturday.
Oh, this wasn't the same day that I was there.
Nah.
Okay. I thought this was the same day that I was there.
Nah,
so the last thing that happened was your mom told him to shut the fuck up.
Yep.
And nothing has happened since then.
Nothing happened because no one's
Shout out
stupid
to Trina,
enough.
man. She's the best. Yeah. Love your mom. I was so excited to see her. She didn't recognize me for a second.
I know.
She was looking at me like, who the fuck are you? I was like, hello. She was like, oh my God, Thomas, hi. Yeah, she was great. She was great.
That's fucking awesome.
Definitely, I didn't get to spend enough time where she was putting the kids down and stuff when I was there.
Mm-hmm.
She really didn't come out and party. I was telling Pastor, like, yo, if she didn't have the kids here, she'd have been partying with us, dude. Well, I guess we'll see if it gets. Hopefully, it doesn't escalate past this. Hopefully, you don't need to throw any hands.
Nah.
I guess it's all on her.
Mo's not gonna throw hands.
That's yeah. Well,
he's got
you're on your side. Hopefully, no hands need to be thrown on your side, and she chills out.
What the audience don't know is that like we get it down over here if it has to be.
If it gotta get done, it get done.
From New York, you get down.
No, too many people out here for them anything to go crazy. They be like, I told a few people, they were like, "Yo, do they want problems right now?" Like, niggas
especially if your mom was there, like,
yeah,
it would have been ugly.
Oh, she was already playing. She was like,
I'm surprised your mom only said shut the fuck up.
She wanted to stab him so badly.
I can imagine. I know.
That's all she kept talking about.
I'm surprised that she shut the door. I'm surprised that she didn't, it didn't go crazy.
I was impressed that she held herself back just to stabbing. I was like, wow.
It would have been a murder scene on your block.
I was like, damn, like, you know how much work it is to clean up a body? Like, let's not do
We know. If anybody knows, the crow knows. We know, you know. How was the Valentine's Day? Was Valentine's Day good for you?
So, honestly, I didn't do much for Valentine's. I honestly didn't. I had an idea. It didn't go through because what I wanted couldn't go through. So
it was
I was
last
like, you
minute?
know what? It was like last minute because
you want a horse
so
and carriage to pick her up?
Yeah, I wanted to order some flowers and shit like that. Keep it simple. But everything was closed down because everything was like rushing throughout the week and I didn't have no time to just do what I wanted to do.
You got to put that order in.
Exactly. So next year I know better. But what I felt like was right was I just kind of like opened up to some shit and I just like let that be known and just my own thoughts and feelings. So, and I thought that was even more valuable.
Your Valentine's Day gift to her was your thoughts and feelings?
Your thoughts you opened up?
Yep.
Did you at least say a poem?
Wow, my man said my Valentine's Day gift to you is a solo podcast of my thoughts and emotions.
My feelings.
Wow. Congratulations, man. Hey, that's free. That's free, huh?
You know what?
$3.99.
I opened up I cried a little, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I did
wow.
I put in some real emotion to it, yeah. I did.
Was this pertaining to your relationship with her or just anything, other things going on?
It contained into just me just opening up about like the past and like how having my family around, how that made me feel and shit like that. So it was like really like really just digging and allowing her to see like some real traumatic stuff and like important shit.
So your
that
gift
I
to her
wouldn't
was
let it.
your trauma. Wow.
Yeah, like let it in.
Yeah.
Yep, my fucking trauma.
Ladies, you let us know if you want trauma for Valentine's Day. I don't know. We'll see. But that was his gift.
That was
My
my
man
gift.
said,
and it was wrapped in such a beautiful way. We had a wonderful moment.
My man
and,
said all the
I
flower
got
shops were closed. So here's some trauma. Here's some trauma. Here's some tears. Here's some Mo. Here's some crow. Did you get her anything tangible that she can eat?
Nah.
Besides
Nah.
dick?
Nah.
Did you even give her that?
Nothing.
You didn't give her dick?
Oh. Yes.
Okay,
we
all
did
right,
that.
all right. I'm saying at least you give her something she could use.
Right?
Man said, I'm gonna give you my thoughts.
It was amazing.
I'm sure it was amazing for you.
I mean, it was amazing.
Did she
for her,
get you
too.
anything?
She got me a little teddy bear with a teddy bear, not teddy bear, a dog with a fucking cup
Huh?
that said I love you.
The
but like
dog
in
had a
dog
cup,
language.
or you? There was a
No,
separate cup.
the dog was attached to the cup.
Okay, but it's not a real cup. It's like a fluff cup.
No,
Fluffy cup?
it's not a fluff cup.
It
It's
was
an
a
actual
mug.
mug.
Oh,
It's a
okay. Because the way you
ceramic
said, I thought the dog was holding it.
Did it have candy in it?
Yeah, it had candy in it.
Oh, so
Nice
she
and
got.
simple.
So she didn't give you trauma. She gave you.
No.
She gave you normal things for Valentine's
She
Day.
allowed me to really open up and be real.
Ah,
and
so
I
it sounds like
couldn't-
she gave you the gift.
Yeah, she did. We both gave each other a gift.
Well, happy
Just-
Valentine's Day. If you didn't hear the Valentine's Day special, make sure you go and check it out. Our second annual Valentine's Day special. Didn't know it was going to come out that good. I really enjoyed it. There was a lot of, Jessie was supposed to be on. Shout out to Jessie, but she couldn't make it. There was a lot of changes, a lot of fluctuations. Stephanie was obviously 2 hours late as usual.
Fuck you, Jesse. But I love you.
Oh,
It was a
But I
great
love
show.
you.
So everybody check that out. Justin didn't finish it because he doesn't listen to the show
I
anymore.
didn't even finish
He didn't
it.
listen to the show anymore. Wow.
Yeah.
Very disrespectful. Very disrespectful.
Wow.
But last week we did a podcast with our friend Zach, and
yeah.
to me it was one of our best shows, possibly our best interview yet. Okay, said we weren't going to do the interviews anymore, and in typical Gritty fashion, when I say we're not going to do something, that's when it happens. Yeah, that's what happens. When I say we're going to do something, it doesn't happen. When I say we're not going to do it, it happens. So that's the code you got to crack there.
Yeah.
But it was a really cool interview. For those that don't know, Zach had a condition that he lived with for 8 years. I think technically he still has it, but it really put a damper on his life for 8 years because he couldn't eat solid food. We're not going to go into the whole conversation right now. I'm not going to go into the whole details, but if you want to go check it out, great interview, very inspiring. He has his own podcast called Rice Cakes and Pears that is a lot more inspiring than ours, let me tell you right now.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Justin, what did you think about the show?
Man, I thought it was a great show. I listened to it at least almost 4 times.
Wow.
The backstory was good. I loved the back and forth between me and him talking about our Q-tubes.
Mm-hmm. G-spots.
That was great. It was just a good time, good experience.
Right, and I'm proud to say I barely cut him off, and I listened a lot of the show. So that's definitely the best interview for me. Well, the only person I can't cut off, I don't think I cut Ben off really. He was pretty good. He didn't let me cut him off. But everybody else, I pretty much am good at just, let me ask you this. Oh, before that, let me tell you this, and then let me tell you that. So Zach, I really try not to step over Zach's stuff. It was good.
If anything, I was the one
You think
who
so?
almost kept cutting him off.
Wow.
Because I was like,
Hey, well, let me tell you. Let me talk about this. Let me tell you about that.
yeah.
Well, I don't really care because at the end of the day, we're not here to be Pierce Morgan. We're not here to be Larry King. It's really a conversation at the end of the day, and that's what we set out to have. So that's basically like having a conversation with us. We're going to cut you off. We're going to talk shit. We're going to insert ourselves as many times as we can.
And while I listened to the show, I realized I forgot to bring up. Then at the end of the show, then he was trying to wrap up,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, we forgot to talk about this.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring that up to him, but I forgot.
Well, we forgot a couple things. It's all right. You can't get everything in there.
Next time.
So very proud of myself for not cutting him off a lot and listening. But let me tell you, since we're talking about my bad habits in conversations and in interviews, let's talk about one of Justin's because everybody wants to talk about me. Let's talk about Justin's bad habit. Yeah, you got one. And you did it right in the beginning of the show, I think when Mo was just talking, this is Justin's thing. I love it though. I don't want him to change it. This is something I think is hilarious. We don't want to change none of it. So somebody be talking about something. He'll do it all the time on the phone though. But especially you could see it on Zach's interview. I'm gonna talk about the exact instance that it happened in. Somebody be talking about something. So let's say Mo's talking about his trauma. Justin will all of a sudden while somebody's talking about something serious, doesn't involve him at all, he will just a shit-eating grin will spread on his face and distract me. And he'll just be somebody be like, yeah, when I was a kid, it was really hard life. And next thing you go, this big grin. He'll just be sitting there like this. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, what the fuck is going on in his head? Because he's just sitting there with this massive cheese smile and just rocking back and forth. He's deranged. And he did it like at least twice during Zach's. He did it one time because I cut Zach off and I knew exactly why he did it. But there was another time that I want Justin to elaborate on. Zach was talking about he's giving us a very intimate moment in his life when him and his lovely wife, right? What's her wife?
Yeah.
Aubrey. His lovely wife Aubrey first dated, and they were going to a snow cone place. And he was talking about, he thought ISIS was after him. He was having a big mental breakdown. So he's like, hey Aubrey, can we go to the car? It could be, we just chill out.
You gotta work on that impersonation.
That was him. So he's like, can we just chill out? He's telling us he's like having a mental breakdown. And while he's telling us this very intimate story, Justin has got this shit-eating grin on his face. And I'm like, what? I don't want to cut Zach off to be like, what are you smiling about? There is nothing to smile about in this story. This is heartbreaking. What? I know what you're smiling about now. Why don't you tell the audience what was going on in your mind?
So,
Please do.
my man was talking about the for snow cones, and it brought up in my mind a memory that we were listening to Jim Cornette's podcast, and he was talking about the time there Vince McMahon just said, I love snow cones. So that just popped into my brain.
And he's cheesing out about it.
Yeah.
In the middle of Zach's interview.
And I almost said it. I'm like, I love snow cones.
I wish you would have said it. Zach just said, yeah, man, I was having a mental breakdown, man. It was really tough. I love snow cones. That would have been, you would have took the title as worst interviewer if you did that. You would have took it from me for the year.
2022
worst interview of all time. Sim.
I thought I was that, but God.
I mean, that is a great story to hear about Vince
is.
McMahon getting up and screaming, I love snow cones after eating like 10 of them. But did you really need to, did that really need to take front and center in your mind while Zach was telling us such a great story?
I can't control my mind.
Obviously not.
Like,
You know what? Go ahead, finish.
I was going to say, like the fact that I can't eat rice. I can't control that.
Well, you know what else you can't control? Speaking of eating, we got to talk about this. All right? Y'all man. This is y'all man Justin here. All right? This is to the audience. There's something's going on with Justin because he has been eating. Look at he's eating right now. This guy, for some reason lately, this guy has been eating like a maniac.
For real.
Yo, every hour, cookies, cake, a wrap, and I love when he does this. He'll look at Blue and he'll be like, I can't believe you're hungry. You ate an hour ago. And I'll look at him like, isn't that what you do? So listen to this, right? I've been picking up on how many times this man has been putting food in his mouth, okay? All day, this guy's chomping on something, eating. I think I also said it during the Zach interview that you've been eating like all day. Like all day this guy's eating.
You might have mentioned a little bit.
So I caught this guy red-handed, and
He caught me.
I caught him so good the other day. We're sitting on FaceTime. It's like 3 in the afternoon, 5 in the afternoon. And he's eating. He's eating, what are you eating, wraps? He's eating yo. You know the rule, no eating during the show, by the way. We gave Mo shit for that. So I'm sitting there, and I see him eating, it might have been a wrap.
It was a wrap,
And I'm like, I know he's not eating again. So I'm like, didn't you just eat an hour ago? I said, didn't you just eat cookies? When? He like just screams at me. I'm like, dang, you just eat cookies. When? And then all of a sudden I see his eyes go to the right. He goes, and I see ding. I don't even need to say anything. He goes, it looks like he just saw God. Because he realized that in fact he did just eat cookies 1 hour prior to eating those wraps. And he goes,
I was like, yeah.
Yeah, you're like, what is it? Bing. The light goes off. And I'm like, 1 hour ago, pal. You're gonna get big. I told you. We're gonna have the 600-pound proji soon.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna get your own TLC show.
Yep.
Is everything all right, Justin? Because usually when I eat a lot, it means I'm dealing with something emotional. Is everything okay with you? Let's get serious. Let's get down to business.
Let's go.
Everything's fine.
No. That's what everybody says when they're in that mode.
Everything's fine.
No. Let's get serious, okay? Me and Mo we express our feelings on the show. It's time for you to do that right now. What's troubling you?
Open up.
What's troubling you?
Okay.
Give us the Valentine's Day gift of your trauma.
Are you lonely?
Yeah. Are you depressed? You need to go see a person, a professional?
You
want to go see Jay?
Dab me off harder?
Whoa.
Stressed out?
You gonna give him some tips on how to beat off harder?
No, I just want to know if he needs to like get it out of his system.
Wow, but it's just great tracking Justin's food because I'll just sit there and I'm like, bing, there's a cookie, boom, there's a cake, boom, there's a wrap, boom, there's a this, there's a that. But you're saying everything's okay.
Yeah, everything's fine. I'm just eating just to eat.
So you're admitting you're not eating because you're hungry. You're admitting you're eating because you're bored. All right, well, that's the other thing. Either you're eating too much because you're depressed or you're eating because you're bored. It's fine. I'd rather you be eating because you're bored. That's fine.
Yeah, I got a bit bored.
All right, that's great. Well, I think it's time. Anybody want to say anything about what we just talked about prior? Because we're about to go into the news, but before that, we're about to hit the announcement. Anybody have anything they want to say?
Hey, we might have the cure for Justin. I'm just saying.
What's the cure? Oh, we're about to play?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
Oh boy.
everybody listen up, brothers and sisters. We got a special announcement because put the cookie down. Enough with the this guy was eating cookies the whole 40 minutes of us getting ready.
You might want to take the cookie out your mouth.
You know the rules. No eating during the show. I don't even do it.
You keep doing it, I'm going to bring back chicken.
Yeah, you keep doing that. Mo's going to bring back the chicken.
My sis had some good fried chicken.
All right, listen. Here we go. Let me tap my glass because announcement. Everybody shut up. You know when they tap the glass at a wedding?
Yeah, it hurt my ear.
Did they hurt your ear? How? You're deaf. All right, anyway.
Um,
All right. So,
let's go.
As you all know, me, Mo, and Justin have loved Chatterbait for a long time. Well, the time has come, everybody, because next week on the show, me and Mo sat down with a woman who is a cam woman on Chatterbait.
yeah.
Who's your guys? Who hooked you up, brother?
Happy birthday to me, mother.
Happy birthday, Mo. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
How did this happen?
It happened.
Magic.
I did a little
it's just been my
magic.
year, baby.
It's not just your year, but it's everybody's year.
Yeah,
everybody's
well.
year. It's not just about you. Okay, it's not about your trauma right now. Okay.
Have you ever seen this chick on Kim?
I might have showed you her before.
Okay.
But you're gonna see her next week. Now, what I'm gonna do? This is unprecedented. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, you know we never do this.
Never.
I'm gonna play you a little clip
All right.
from next week. Now, this is what happened. So, the woman that came on the show, Miss J, she's also a MILF, by the way. So, you know I love that.
A lot of J's in my life.
That's right. You get J, 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 and J. Well, this new J, the MILF J, is a dom. She likes to be dominant. And you already know Mo was on the show, and he's supposed to be a dom.
Yeah.
So,
Supposed to be a dom.
they came head to head in a little bit of a dom off at the end of the show. So I'm just gonna play you a little clip of what you're in store for next week. Well, that's not the right clip. I'm sorry. All right, here we go. This is what you're in store for next week.
Mo, you get that cock out right fucking now, and you start stroking that shit, and you do exactly what I fucking say. And I'm gonna give you a countdown for when you can come. But you cannot come before I say. Now what you got?
Mm.
And then Mo's going to respond. You'll hear Mo's responses and their rebuttals next week on the show, baby!
Yo, this reminds me of a video I saw like 5 years ago. This chick was like, "Don't come, or I'm gonna chop your balls off."
Wow.
Yeah, just popped into.
That's a good incentive not to come, because you can't come after that.
He came, and then the end of the video, you saw her with the scissors. Chop, chop.
Oh, did you see it? Did you see the action?
No, it just ended.
Oh, okay. All right. You're watching cum countdowns. That's very popular. That's a thing.
Oh, this was like fucking when I was 17, 18.
Yeah. Yeah, cum countdowns. That's big on Chatterbait and all those campsites. Yeah. So that was a lot of fun.
XX, baby.
That conversation was a lot of fun. We learned a lot about her. She was great. She was awesome. Shout out to Ms. J. You guys are going to hear all about it next week.
Seriously, you get to see how nervous I was.
I was nervous. I don't blame her for being nervous because she put him on the spot. Nervous. She was like, "You think you're a fucking dom? Then fucking dom me right now, bitch." I was like, "Yeah, Ms. J, let's go." I sat back and I was like, "No, my favorite part of the show." I mean, I love every aspect of the show except editing. We all know that.
Yeah.
My favorite aspect of the show is when moments like that happen where I go, "I'm not needed here. All I need to do is sit back and shut up." And the last time I remember that happening was Mo and his Jay when they were in my house. I'm sure there were other times, but that's the only one that comes to mind. So Mo's a good luck charm for me with that because he just be giving me moments where I'm not needed.
No, the super high hero hour you never needed.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about when a moment arises that I'm in the moment and I'm like there is no purpose for me here. I will not add to this. I will only take away from this. Let me shut up.
I've been three. It's been Stephanie, Miss J, and my.
Yeah, you and Stephanie.
Yeah.
Yo, that's crazy. Stephanie just texted me too.
Oh, no.
While you're saying her name. Look at that.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. We spoke the queen.
Spoke about the queen and
here she goes.
That's right.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm excited, man. I'm sorry for cutting you, but I'm just so excited for everybody to hear that fucking episode.
I'm excited for this.
What did your woman and your sister think about it? Because you kind of explained to them what was going to go on, and you saw them afterwards. What did they think about this?
They just they were in my living room and.
They were in the living room while it was happening?
No, they were in the living room when I was telling them. And I was like, yeah, so I just want to let y'all know, me and Gritty did a whole episode with a webcam girl. So Sissy, Sissy picks her head up just a little bit just to look at me.
Look.
And my girl just goes, I wonder how, basically she's like, I wonder how this is going to be. So I'm like, I'm not going to tell y'all too much. I'm like, it's exciting. So I'm like, she put me on the spot. I was like, I just said she called me a bitch. She called me a bitch, and I just had to prove I wasn't a bitch. So they just laughed after that, and they were like, all right. So it was funny because once I said what I said, it was like, yeah. She shouted me out. They just understood why I did what I did. So it was so funny.
I like how right before he starts, he goes, "I just want to let my woman know this for entertainment purposes." He's giving a whole disclaimer. Give a whole disclaimer. I just want to let you know right now it's for entertainment purposes only. Me and Miss J were dying. It was such a good time. Again, shout out to her. We're having some real good guests lately. So you guys are awesome.
That's
I'm just glad Gritty knows where I need to be on what times, because that was just I couldn't miss.
I hit him up. I was gonna surprise Mo with that, but when we were at his birthday, like right before I went, I was like, nah, I want him to be ready because he's gonna be drunk and high. So I grabbed him right before I left his house. I was like, listen, I need you to be in tip top shape for Monday because X, Y, and Z. And you were like, oh yeah, he was excited. I wanted you to know to be. I wanted you to be on your A game.
I was hopping. I could have jumped off every fucking wall in my house in that moment. I had to contain myself.
I bet.
And you could see it. You could see it, guys. Like, y'all would never see me like this. I got something.
Flustered. I think I was turning red during that segment.
I was so flustered. It was so much I had to say. A lot of my body language when you see me is going to be like me just saying, oh my God, this is fucking happening. Like, I just did not know that we would get to this point. This is a great milestone for me personally. So I'm just
I mean,
happy.
for the show, we talked about Chatterbait for a long time. We haven't really talked about him recently because we really haven't been on, but there we go. It's part of our history now. Now we finally got the Chatterbait on the show.
That's a fact.
This is great. I love how they're expanding our
Ladies,
gifts.
exactly.
Yeah.
We start here and then we're coming back to this, and it's just like it's not gonna end. I never expected it to get to this point.
I know, right?
Almost 2 years down.
That's a fact.
Almost 2 years in. So get ready for that next week. Hopefully you can contain yourselves. Be there or be square. Now,
This dude.
be there or be square, bitches. Now let's talk about some topical things going on in the world today. All right, let's start off with this. It's Black History Month, so we need to come in correct with this. This is something that pertains to Black History Month that was the funniest thing I've heard in a week. Okay, I was scrolling through Instagram and just saw this and I was stunned. So let me just play for you what this is. This is a clip of a young lady, maybe in high school, who was participating in a walkout. Apparently during this walkout, they had a stage with a microphone. And this is what she went on the microphone to say. Oh, again, I just did the wrong clip again.
I am so glad that years ago, Dr. Martin Luther King, the first black man, ended slavery. Because if not, people would be whipped every day for
What?
I am so glad that years ago, Dr. Martin Luther King, the first black man.
What? The first black man? Okay, so that means that that means a black guy didn't come on the scene until 1929. That's when Martin Luther King was born.
I am so glad that years ago, Dr. Martin Luther King, the first black man, ended slavery. Because if not, people would be whipped every day for
I love how you hear everybody start like wait, what? Like they started screaming at it. I wish they stopped. I wish they didn't stop the camera. That was dumb. They might have went to go beat her up or something. I don't know. But man, so again, that must mean that Martin Luther King was the first black man to walk the earth in 1929. No wonder people were so freaked out that black people there because they ain't seen one till 1929. They're like, who the hell is this? What, do they grow him in a petri dish? What, did he come out the ground? And then, obviously, he ended slavery. I don't know who was enslaved if there was no black people before him. Who was enslaved?
Hey.
It was
over there. There's a nigga.
I can't, like, all right. I'm pretty uneducated. Y'all know that. This is bad even for me. Mo, this is your month. What do you have to say about this atrocity?
There's a nigga.
That's what you have to say? You're speaking on behalf of your people with that?
Bro, the first time a black person see, hey,
I didn't even know what it is. They were just like, what is that?
What is that? What do you call that?
Wow. I just want to say, if everybody's walking out of that school, she needs to be walking back in. She's the only one, and I don't know what they're walking out for, and I don't care what it is. I don't care if they're walking out because they're cutting lunch and they if they're cutting seats and you got to stand up. You need to go in and get an education, girl, because man, I'm bad. Like I have almost. If this was a math bit, I couldn't say anything. This is crazy. This is an atrocity to history.
I'm bad at history, and I knew that.
This was bad, man. But it was the funniest thing I've seen all week. It was great. This is, I don't know if it tops when we were in 7th, 8th grade, and we were sitting around the history room, and one of the guys goes, "Yo, so what president was Martin Luther King?" Everybody goes, what? Now, mind you, 2007, Obama was about to win the presidency. So all you hear about is how we can possibly have our first black president.
Yeah.
And this man, like, what do you thought, Martin Luther King was Spanish? You thought he was white? Or you ain't know that we never had a black president before? Insane.
Apparently not. Apparently not.
This also reminds me of a time where I had to write a report on Rosa Parks for Black History, right? And you would think, like, all right, a report on Rosa Parks, like that's got to be easy. You know, you can knock that out. I just didn't even do it. I chose not to do it. Now, you know, Mo, we had Miss Bridget at that time.
Yes, we did.
So I was like, in typical gritty fashion, I just came to the conclusion, like, I'm not even going to do it. And I'm just going to see what happens when I tell him I'm not going to do it. Like, I just didn't do it. So I go that day, and it's us, and I think the seniors were there too. They put a senior class with us for some reason. We were probably in the same grade that I said before, 7th grade, maybe 8th. And they're like, all right, Thomas, get up, Rosa Parks. And they're like, I'm just like, I ain't do it. They're just like, what do you mean you didn't do it? I'm like, I don't got nothing. They're like, okay. So I'm thinking that's it. I'm thinking they're just going to yell at me, give me, a failing grade, and I'm going to walk home. She was like, okay, you're going to get up in front of the class, and you're going to tell everybody everything you know about Rosa Parks. So I got up, pulled the chair up in front of everybody. Everybody's looking at me. Isn't there like a meme like that with SpongeBob where everybody's looking at him in silence? Yep. Everybody's looking at me, and it's just, I'm like, well, y'all know about the bus, right? I need to bring that up. I was like, y'all know about the whole bus situation, right? Y'all remember that, right?
Wow.
If I knew, I guess now hearing this clip and what I said before, some people may not have known. I probably should have just stretched that story out. Well, she got on a bus and white guy came on, but no, I was just like, I don't need to explain to y'all about the whole MTA situation, right? And then they're like, they're like, yeah, anything else? I was like, well, I was like, when I read a couple things about it, I think she went to jail for that. So she went to jail, and I think there was like a bombing in her life somewhere. Like somewhere got bombed, civil rights. They were bombing stuff around that time. She maybe there was like a protest. Walked around. They were just like, get out of here. Get out of here. So, I mean, am I even better than that woman that I just played? I don't know. At least I knew what she did. I just didn't know, where she was born and all this shit. I didn't know any of that. So, there you go. There's my Black History Month report on Rosa Parks.
There you go. Using your white privilege.
There you go.
There you go.
I thought I was going to just get yelled at. I could have took that. What I got was far more embarrassing. Everybody was just looking at me like, they were just like.
They just felt so sorry for him. They were like, yo, we don't want to embarrass you no more.
It was bad, man. It was bad.
This was his own insanity, because he wouldn't, if he was left to finish that thing, he would have ruined his whole life.
I mean, there was no finishing. That's all I knew. The bus.
That's all he knew. The bus. Wow.
Yep. I didn't feel like doing a report, and I remember
do
having
you
to
feel
go.
like you could do a better report now on a Black History Month?
No, because I don't want to do the research. I didn't want to do it.
You don't think as an adult now you can't?
And also, to be fair, I think it was the same year. They asked me to do a report on Einstein for science, and I didn't do it either. So, I just didn't do that one either. And I love Einstein. Now I know about Einstein. I looked up Einstein biographies and stuff. I didn't know he banged his cousin and all this stuff. I should have put that in my report. I would have got an A. Banged his cousin. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he married his cousin. Somebody fact check me on that, but I watched a documentary 2 years ago, and I'm pretty sure of that. So I went to summer school that year, and I missed camp because I didn't do a report on Rosa Parks or Einstein. So there you go. All right, let's talk about this now. So apparently a woman made $13,000 selling, Justin, guess what she sold? Give a guess.
Shit.
Take a guess. Take a guess. Take a wild guess. Shit? Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. Well, Farrah Abraham is selling her shit, so that's a good guess. No, she is selling her breast milk to bodybuilders. She made $13,000. That's a story going around right now. It was in the New York Times about a woman in the UK. I think her name was Mila, and she's apparently, throwing out the breast milk to bodybuilders. So good for her for getting her bag. Wow. That was interesting. Yeah. Would you guys? Apparently, it people drink it so they can get more nutrition out of it. Apparently, science doesn't back that up. But a lot of people believe that if you drink breast milk, you'll get the nutrients from it. You'll get more nutrients than you get from any other milk. I don't know. Would you guys drink breast milk, though? for any reason. Mo, when
Probably not.
you're probably the one that's gonna get a woman pregnant before anybody. We already have that bet. It's either gonna be you or Dre. I think it's gonna be you.
Taste her breast milk?
Yeah, you tasting Jay's breast milk?
That's a really fucking good question.
We'll answer it.
I would get curious and I'll taste it.
Right.
But I would not consider myself to drink it. Like,
what if it tastes amazing though?
If it tasted amazing, honestly, yeah, I guess I would start drinking.
Yo, heat up a bottle for me too, Jay.
Yo, seriously. Because if it's amazing, then that's a whole nother story. Because I hate milk, period.
Yeah, me too. I don't like milk.
And scientifically, I always like looked at it like, why the fuck are we drinking
thick milk?
Milk from other animals, but we wouldn't drink milk from our own species. It's less creepy. I'm
gonna get to that exact point you made in 1 second, actually. So you would, and you would continue if it tasted good.
It would be less creepier than drinking from cows.
Justin, what about you?
Are we talking like straight from her dick, or can we put it in a bottle?
However you want it, baby.
Can
Want
I
it
put
on
it in
ice?
the fridge? Can I put it in the fridge?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try it.
You'll try it?
If it's ice cold, yeah.
I'm down for that too. I would try it. I would try breast milk in a heartbeat, but got to be from somebody, obviously that I'm banging.
Yeah.
We have a Roddy. I texted Roddy and I was like, "Hey, you just had a baby. You ever tried your wife's breast milk?" And he was like, "Yeah, it was great." He was like, "It was sweet. It was awesome." And I was like, "Give it a rating." He gave it a 5. He gave it a 5 out of 5 on the breast milk scale.
Wow.
On the 5 out of 5. Yeah. So that was great. He said he tried it once by accident. And then he said he took a sip of it like a couple years later. Maybe this was recently he took the sip. And then he told his wife like it was good. And she looked at him like he was nuts. And he was like, well, to what you said, Mo, he was like, isn't it, it's not as creepy. I'm drinking from the same species as opposed to drinking from a cow who's an animal in another species. And he turned her with that. She was like, oh, okay, I guess you're right.
That's
so
true.
he actually just got a new breast pump. And he will now, after our conversation, he will now be getting his own bottle set aside because I inspired him. I was like, well, are you still drinking? He was like, actually, no, I'm not drinking. I was like, you should get your own portion. He was like, yeah, you know what? Fucking, we just got a new breast pump. Next one's mine, baby. Next one's mine.
I respect it. You know what? If she's pregnant one day and that's what the vibe is, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to taste them.
Yeah. I would do it either from somebody that I'm having sex with or like from somebody that I'm hanging out with that I know is clean. Like, but it would be somebody that I'm hanging out with, but not one. Obviously, nobody that you guys are banging. Nobody that you guys are dating, right? It's like somebody that I know, and I don't know. I don't care about her man or anything. Like, I don't fucking know him, or maybe he left or something. I don't know what situation it is, but I would do it. So Roddy's on the train. He's probably drinking it right now.
Probably.
Apparently, a lot of people are on the breast milk train because I saw another article in The Guardian about how there's like an uprising in breast milk being sold on eBay. So much so that eBay got word of it and they shut them down. They were like, yo, no more breast milk on eBay. Y'all bugging. Y'all wilding. You can't be doing this. And I'm just like, that's kind of lame. But then they brought up a good point. You don't know where the breast milk's coming from. Could have HIV in it. Could have all kinds of diseases and nefarious properties within there that can harm you. So there you go. Like when I had that girl up here, the one that was on cocaine and stuff, she was telling me that she was lactating and she was showing me and she was like, but you can't drink it because I don't want you to get high. Because she was like, basically, I do so many drugs that you're going to get high off my breast milk. And I was like, well, I wasn't going to drink it anyway because I just met you, but thanks for the heads up. So apparently, a lot of stuff can be transmitted through breast milk.
A lot
so
of
if
stuff
you're
can
buying
actually-
breast milk online, buddy, you better watch out. They don't got HIV, pal, or herpes or anything crazy. I looked on
I'm not
Etsy.
surprised if this is going to be the next wave, man.
Yo, I'm on the wave. I guess we're all, me, you, and Roddy are on the wave.
Yeah,
I'm
for
trying
real.
it. I saw a guy get breast milk put in his cereal from his wife. He didn't like it. But then Stephanie was telling me she saw another video where a guy said it was really sweet too. So apparently, I was wondering, like, how they say guys come if it depends on our diet. I was wondering if that's a thing. But I guess breast milk is just sweet. Like with
That's
us,
interesting.
we have to be eating certain things.
Yeah, because like for us to get that sweet scent and our nuts, we have to actually eat fruits and shit like that. And it does happen with women too. If your girl, like,
I heard it's more about them getting eaten out though. Maybe it doesn't come through the breast milk, but like if a girl has a bad diet, You're gonna taste it in a box.
Yes, you can.
So there you go.
Too much fried foods, lady. Don't do it.
That's right. So if you've had breast milk, you let us know what you think about it. Let us know if you're on the train. But don't buy it online. Don't go on the dark web. That's going to be the new thing on the dark web now is breast milk.
Yeah,
They'll be doing it, guys. Go to a reputable source.
The next TikTok trend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be careful.
Grandma.
Be careful.
Be careful.
Speaking of being careful, I was telling you guys about air tags and how people have apparently been using them for nefarious purposes and sticking them on women's cars, sticking them on women's luggages or whatever, and tracking people. And how apparently there was a woman who had an air tag that she didn't know where it was. She couldn't find it for like a week or so or a couple days, and actually it was like behind her license plate. Very scary story. So Apple's getting wind of this. We don't really know how many times this has actually happened. This could be an urban legend type deal, right? Maybe it happened once, maybe it happened twice. We don't know the exact numbers. There's no study about how many times this happened. But apparently Apple's taking it under consideration, and their move is they are adding a disclaimer to AirTags, apparently. So when you put them on, when you link them, when you turn it on, it tells you like, yo, just so you know, this is linked to your iCloud, so don't be stalking people. Don't be using this for anything bad. So that's really the only thing they're going to do about it. And I wanted to know what you guys think about AirTags now that they're being used for this, apparently being used for this purpose. Do you think, what should Apple actually do? Should they take them off the market? What should they do with this?
Honestly, bro, like you can't really do anything. Apple can't really do anything, right? They can't. They're not gonna fucking step on people's freedom of rights. You know what I'm saying? So all they can do is offer and allow people to and tell people like, yo, we're tracking if anything comes up, and we know your air thing is like connected somewhere, like somebody disappears or some shit. There we go. We're going to connect those dots to you. So at the same point, it's like you can't stop bad things from happening. Yeah. But if we give, if they at least design this shit that they can track people down when there's something bad happening, then at least we can slow or make people not use that option. You know what I'm saying? Just to harm people. Because it's going to happen. And as long as technology increases its potency in society, people are going to find new ways to kill, harm, destroy, take, steal. So we can't stop that shit from happening, right? So the best thing we have to do is just watch our backs and make sure that our companies and where we buying shit, at least they put in the software to track down the last person that's using that item. Right. You know, because it's hard to hack Apple products.
Well, like I said, on Valentine's Day, maybe it was Valentine's Day, that there was a seller on Etsy that was selling them without this, whatever mechanism it is to let the other person know that there's a foreign air tag by them. I don't know the specifics of it. You got to listen to Lou later. He's the one that knows all this technical stuff. But it's not a good thing what they're doing, basically. They're taking out something that should be in there. And what one of the guys said was true. He said, listen, the police should find that whoever's running that Etsy, take it over, and then track who's buying that kind of thing. Because there's no reason you need to take that off. What do you got, Justin? Anything in your mind?
I agree with Mo. You can't stop it as technology improves. There's always going to be someone to hack into it and try to fuck with it.
Right. Yeah. With any innovation, with anything, there's going to be something bad you could do with it. Right. It's like the same thing. I agree with exactly what you're saying. You can't stop it. It's just like hopefully humanity. There's enough people in the human race not to be evil with it. Like the same thing. I don't believe in taking away guns. I love guns. I don't think there's any reason to take them away. Exactly. It's just that some people use it for nefarious ways. You need to figure out how to mitigate that for that not to happen. You know what I mean? Try taking out however they're getting it on the black market. The problem with guns a lot of times is parents have them, crazy kids get them. You know, that's really a home situation. We can't really stop that. You know what I mean? So I agree with you guys wholeheartedly. You can't take away, like when you look at the UK, they don't really have guns, but I hear that they got a lot of stabbings. They do and acid attacks and shit like that. So it's like, you take away the guns, but they're still going to kill and maim and harm other ways.
Yeah, you try to take it away, something else is going to happen.
I think Apple AirTags are dumb because I'm just like, how lazy can we get? Like, I like being lazy, but it's like, keep track of your shit. You know, I mean, I guess maybe if it's something very important, right? But I just think like I'm just like I don't need it is what I'm saying.
You know,
I don't need
like the idea of it, like, hey, air tag your dog, your cat, there's like this cutesy little thing that Apple people can buy. I get behind that selling point, right? I even can see like, you know what I'm saying, where you put you worry about your child or something like that. Those helicopter parents. I can see people like that buying this item. But to me, I feel like I feel like this is just helpful for people with like strong anxiety. Like, what I'm saying?
Or people that would like to keep track of very important things. I get you. I don't want to say it's dumb. Let me retract that.
I'm not saying it's not dumb.
I'm saying, no, I'm retracting what I said. I said it's dumb.
Got you.
I think what I think is dumb is people putting it on just random, like things that you wouldn't really, you could just buy again, or, something that's like, okay, that's not really necessary to keep OD track of. A person, let's say a company has very important merchandise, maybe you want to put an AirTag on it. Maybe you're going somewhere in an airport, you want to put an AirTag on something, but I think people are going to use it just for everything.
And at the same time, I just thought about like the card thing, like, oh, what if you want to watch your kid and make sure? But I'm like, they already have technology for that. We've had that for like 15 years already. Yeah. So it's like, okay, I mean, like when I start thinking about the AirTags, I'm like, damn, like what do we really need it for? Like you could put a.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, do we really need that? But I guess we want it. No shame if you're using it. I mean,
hey, one thing I got, luggage. I would hate, when you're in
luggage.
A fucking airport. Oh my God.
Because if they lose your luggage, you're like, well, it's here.
Exactly. Yo, it's in the building somewhere. It's on this area.
I'll give you that for sure. If you're transporting something, you could totally use an AirTag. And maybe like you said, on your dog or something like that. That's good. Yep. So it's not totally useless. I don't want to say it like that. I just think a lot of people are just going to be putting it on like everything, just like anything.
I'm telling you,
Dre's gonna put it on his iPad, on his iPhone. What is it? His AirPod case. And I'm just like, I wouldn't buy it for that.
You can.
I just keep track of my AirPod case.
Exactly.
Shout out to Dway. But I told him like I'm not buying a $40 AirTag.
What is it, like a sticky thing that?
I guess you could just. It's like a little. I haven't even seen how actual big it is. They might have varying sizes, but you just stick it on something. I think it's like $30-$40.
It's a small little sticker.
Yeah, it's got to be small for people to be concealing it and putting it inside of things. And
you know what I love this idea for and this is crazy that we didn't, for people in the blind community. I love this idea for people with disabilities.
Yeah, I guess if you lose stuff, I don't know how good. Like, let's say the compatible app is with it. Like, I don't know how good the app is for you to know where it is if you're blind.
Yo, let's try it, baby.
Yeah, you get an AirTag. You let me know. We'll put an AirTag.
Let's do a little review on that, baby.
We'll do a review on an AirTag. See how good it is for disabilities, people with disabilities. Got you. All right. So this was interesting. Peter Dinklage. You guys know who that is? He played Tyrion.
Name sounds familiar.
Played Tyrion, I think his name is, in Game of Thrones. He's a dwarf actor.
Oh, I don't know.
He's a very good looking guy. I'll give him that. He's like a stud. He's like the hottest dwarf I ever seen. I'm just gonna say that right now. So
what's his name? Peter
Dinklage. Damn, Justin, your screen is bright. Shit just turned your face white. Damn, bro.
Have the automatic brightness.
Damn, bro. So Peter Dinklage came out and spoke out against the new Snow White movie that they're making. Let me not even set up. I'm going to let you hear what the man had to say for himself, and we could discuss it.
They're very proud
okay, thank you.
They're very proud to cast a Latino actress as Snow White.
Yeah.
But you're still telling the story of Snow White.
Yeah.
Seven Dwarfs.
Sure.
So, look, take a step back and look at what you're doing there.
Yeah.
I know. That makes no sense to me.
Well,
you're progressive in one way, but you're still making that backward story of seven dwarves living in a cave. What the are you doing, man?
I mean, how unprogressive is that? I don't get. They're being progressive by putting a Latina as Snow White, but why are they like? Do we need to be progressive with dwarves? They exist, and it's not like. First of all, the movie's called Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Dwarves exist. It's a real thing. He is one, right? Yeah. And from what I remember, I haven't seen the movie in years, it's not a negative portrayal of dwarfs, is it?
No.
No, they each have their own characteristic.
They're living in a cave. Apparently, he doesn't like that. They're just hardworking dwarves. I mean, I don't know if they're basically just like coal miners, right? I think they're like coal miners or something like that.
Except for Dopey.
I'm really struggling to see what's bad about this and what needs to be changed about it. Nobody knows?
Nothing.
I have no answer for this. I mean, they changed the princess, into a Latina. What are they going to do with the dwarves? Are we going to Mexican dwarves?
No, but he didn't even bring up the race. He's bringing up that they're dwarves in general. It's like, okay, dwarves exist. There's from what I understand, there's no negative stereotype in the movie about dwarves. Do you want to change the whole fact that they're dwarves? You want it to be Snow White and the Seven Crickets, like Snow White
and the Seven Giants?
Yeah, Snow White and the Seven Giants. They'll be in a massive house.
Like, what the hell?
It's like, I'm really not understanding his point there. And Justin, you know this guy, the guy that played Hornswoggle in WWE came out, and he was like, yo, who made you the leader of the dwarf community?
Right.
Who made you? Who made you king? And he's saying, like, you're kind of advocating for taking away jobs. It's not like they got regular guys and they're gonna make them dwarves in the movie also, right? I could see if his point was they're taking average people and making them dwarves in the movie. No, they're gonna bring dwarves in the movie and make them dwarves in the movie. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not rocket science. I don't understand what he's saying here. So you're gonna kind of take away jobs from people like yourself.
Yeah. Sounds like he's just mad that they're changing one thing and they're leaving the other thing.
It doesn't need to be changed. That's the name of the movie, Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. They didn't even change it. They didn't change the name to the Latina and the Seven Dwarves.
Yeah.
I mean, Snow White could basically be anybody.
Anything, yeah.
Snow White could be anybody. It's fine. I don't see a problem with that. Hey, listen, I'm Latino, so good on her. She's cool. Whatever. I don't really care about it though. It's like you're advocating for taking away jobs from people like yourself. Is it like, do you want dwarves to be in regular roles and not to be even looked at as a dwarf? Like, you just want a dwarf to walk in a room at every movie and for them to not even acknowledge you're a dwarf? I could see that, but it's not going to happen because the movie's called Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah.
That's the way the fucking story was written. It's not negative. It's not a negative portrayal. It's kind of pointless.
For real.
And shout out to Peter Dinklage. I mean, it's his opinion. We're very opinionated, so no shade on him, no hate towards him. I have out of left field opinions, whatever. But shout out to Hornswoggle as well, whatever his name is, Dylan something. Dylan something. He's sticking up for his people. Getting them jobs. It's not going to be like when they did when they do Wizard of Oz. What are they going to do with that? He's going to be pissed about that.
Right.
He's not going to have no munchkins. The Lollipop Guild. What are they going to be?
Hey, look, he's fantastic in Game of Thrones and all of that, but I honestly don't know where he's coming from in this whole area. So I'm not even gonna step on this one because I feel like his own community is like, shut up.
Are you saying you're not gonna step on it because he's a dwarf? That's very rude to say. That's not nice. That's not nice. That's not nice what you said. You can't step on a dwarf. Justin.
Only if that's what I meant.
All right, that's not okay. You apologize now. They're gonna cancel you for that.
Yeah, if that was what's needed for the situation, I apologize. Right. But that man has a good sense of humor. He'd be all right.
Good for Peter Dinklage, man. Listen, say what you got to say. We say crazy shit, so it is what it is. That's what it's about. Discourse and conversation.
Yep.
No hate.
Yep.
So let me tell you about this. Zach asked us on the show about podcasts we listen to. I totally am remiss because I forgot to say that I listened to Doug Stanhope and I listened to Report of the Week's podcast. But there's another podcast that I recently heard that I was telling you guys about. And at first I thought it was a fake not a fake podcast, but I thought it was a podcast that was acting as like a drama of a podcast talking about a woman who was catfish for 10 years. Till I realized it was true. It's an actual podcast about a woman who was really catfish. I couldn't believe that premise. I'm like, how could you be catfish for 10 years? Right. So it's real. It's not a scripted podcast is what I meant to say. Right? So here's the deal on that. It's called Sweet Bobby. So you can check it out. It's done very well how they do it. They actually interview the woman who who was catfished. They have cool, creepy music to it. Like all this different backstory on people that were there. They interview a bunch of people. They get all this information, right? But here's the lowdown. Listen to it yourself. But basically, I'm about to ruin the whole story. So get ready for that. So you got this woman named, I think it's Kirit. That's how you pronounce it. I haven't heard it in like a couple of weeks. But I think her name was Kirit. She gets a message from this dude, Bobby, on Facebook, who was supposed to be her cousin, which was named, what was her name? Simran. He was supposed to be Simran's boyfriend's brother. Okay, we all understand that?
Simran's boyfriend's
He
brother.
was supposed to be Kirit's cousin's boyfriend's brother, JJ. JJ died. So he hit Kirit up and said, listen, I appreciate how nice you were to my brother. And from what I remember, at this point, she really hadn't spoken to JJ in a while. So this is kind of like out of left field. So she's like, oh, it's no problem. It's my pleasure. The conversation continues. They keep talking. She's like, yeah, it's such a good podcast because you can hear her explaining it herself. The narrator will explain it, but then you'll hear her explain it almost as if it was real time because she'll just be like, yeah, that's why I thought it was fake at first because she's explaining like it's in real time. She's like, at this time, this was happening. So she's like, he's talking to me. And we start becoming friendly. He's expressing things to me that apparently he doesn't want to express to his wife. He's unloading baggage on me, all this stuff. So here's where the first red flag comes in. 5 months into their conversation, she sees him at a club. And she's like, hey, Bobby, what's up, man? What's going down? He's like, who the fuck are you? And it's loud in there, so he doesn't really say it, but he's like, oh, yeah. And she's like, remember this? Remember we talking about that? Remember we talking about that? He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And she's saying, I thought he was kind of just like embarrassed about this, and I didn't want to embarrass him in public. And I'm just like, there's nothing really shameful about this. But she's like, he's a very private guy, so I didn't really want to bother him, so I just left. And I'm just like, that was your first red flag, but whatever, right? Mm-hmm. They don't talk for 2 years after that. Okay, she's a radio host, and apparently she gets word that your man Bobby got shot in Kenya. So then they get together and they start talking on Facebook again. Apparently, Bobby don't even remember her that well. He's like, oh yeah, I think I remember like talking to you. You were really close to my brother. He's saying that he got some kind of memory loss from this whole situation, right? They're talking. Apparently, after that, Bobby dies. He's dead. End of story, right? Wrong. She gets word Bobby's back alive. And he's in witness protection in the hospital.
Does this not sound like a fucking novella at this point, bitch?
Already, and it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. So now he's in witness protection. This point, they're kind of getting close. So he's like, the fact that he's in witness protection, he's like, yo, so like people can't see me. And red flag also, he really never explained why he was in witness protection. I don't think she even asked. She might have asked, and he probably was like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't even know. Right? So now at this point, this is in episode 2 of the show when this goes down. This is my favorite episode because this one got really crazy. At this point, it's about 7 months is going by, and he's having blood clots. He's having this. He's getting into surgery every day. He's having this problem, that problem, this problem, and she's working with him through it the whole time. She's talking to him the whole time. 7 months goes by after all this, and he expresses his feelings towards her. I believe this is also on Valentine's Day, something like that. And she is talking, and she's like, yeah, like I wanted to kind of give him a good end of his life because I felt like he was dying. So I just kind of went out with him to make his last days happy. Well, girl, it was not even close to his last days. They keep talking. And now she's like, I start to actually fall in love with him now. Like I start to really feel stuff for him. She felt, so they're doing Skype calls. They're doing this. They're doing that. Now, listen to this. You're probably thinking, all right, if he catfished her, if it's, let's say it's not a guy, right? Or whatever. How is he talking to her on Skype? Well, I don't think they even videoed. But number 2.
Actually, I was just saying, take a video.
I don't think they videoed. I think it was only calls. He was talking about how in surgery, conveniently, his voice box got damaged. His vocal cords were damaged. So he could only talk something like this. He could only do something like this. So all their Skype calls were like that. And she basically said at the end of the show, like, oh, yeah, once I kind of heard that and like a couple hours went by, I just got used to it and thought it was his voice. Like, I just didn't even think about it. It's like, okay, all right. Anyway. Okay. Really?
Okay.
Okay. So she is loving this guy now. They're talking. He's going through all this stuff. He's doing suicide attempts. She loves the guy. I made sure to write this note. She loved this guy so much. She talked to him all the time. She recorded herself reading a whole ass Harry Potter book for this man. All right, I gotta give her a cheer on that. That's love. That's love. Happy Valentine's Day. My man had her record. Wow. I mean, I had a girl send me like 50,000 pictures, and I didn't even respond. I think my man got me beat. He got her to record a whole Harry Potter book. That's a new level. That's a new level right there.
Wow.
So
I don't have no answers for it. Like, nothing to say about that shit.
All right. So they're going through this whole thing. Now he's in the hospital. He's in that hospital. Apparently Simran was able to see her, and she was never able to go. Apparently he's in New York City now. Don't even ask me how he got shot in Kenya, ended up in New York City. Don't even ask me. Maybe, I don't know. So they're talking all this time, and now she's in love with him. Eventually, add this note. While all this is going on, she is starting to get involved with all his family, okay? She's in a Facebook group with all his family, like 30 people. So whenever they have a little problem, she's like, she'll go to his aunt, she'll go to his mom, she'll go to this, like, he's saying this, he's saying that he doesn't want to be with me anymore. And now that he's like ingrained with her and everything, now he's like bossing her around, telling her, yo, don't be doing this, you need to be calling me every 5 minutes. He got it on lock now. He got her texting him, and you can even hear in one of the clips, she sent him a bunch of voice messages. He would text her incessantly, like her phone, while she was sending voice messages, like ding 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 ding, like a damn pinball machine. So she's like in this relationship now. She's totally in it, talking to grandma, talking to aunt about him, and they're like, he loves you so much. He's just emotional, blah blah blah. Do y'all know this went on for 3 more years? 3 years, okay? About the 3-year mark, or 3 years later, I should say, not 3-year mark, excuse me. She's like, yo, I'm done with this. You're dodging me. I want you to come to the UK to come see me. There's been times where he's like, I'm going to go, but then he would start a fight with her right before. So, that's like very manipulative tactic somebody does, Yep. He would be ready to go, and he would start a fight with her. Or she would be ready to like kind of leave, and he would have a heart attack or a stroke. So that was his game. Every time something was really going to happen, he would bring her back some way. Everybody knows it's a very manipulative tactic. Happens in a lot of manipulative toxic relationships. Somebody's gonna leave, and you go, I had a stroke, so come see me, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So after this last blow up where he's about to go, and then he has a heart attack because she said something that threw him off the edge, and now he's had a heart attack. She felt so bad. She's like, no, you need to come see me. So Bobby actually goes to the UK to see her now. Okay, he's there. Still talking like fucking, like he ain't got no voice. Hey, I'm gonna come see you. But obviously there was trouble when he was there.
Paradise.
He was there for like months. And she'd be like, can I just come up to your hotel? I don't want to see you right now. My cancer came back. Apparently he had cancer now. I don't want to see you. I'm not in the right state. So she would go to his aunt or something, like, he doesn't want to see me. And she'd be like, oh, it's okay, honey. It's okay. He'll come see you soon. Blah, blah, blah. Finally, all the excuses, all the years later, she hires a private investigator. All right. She ain't playing around no more. She's like, find out where this man is.
She said, I want that dick.
It's a dick. So the private investigator comes back to her, and she's like, he is exactly 80 minutes away from you in Brighton, I believe. Brighton, United Kingdom, right? Yeah, Brighton. So she's like, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to this man's crib. I'm going to go to where he's at.
Yeah,
so she drives the 80 minutes away, and when she knocks on the door, She's walking, and this is the cool part of the podcast too. You got to listen to this part. At this point, he starts interviewing Bobby, whoever Bobby really was, right? So Bobby opens the door, and what do you know? It's actually the guy from the picture, the one from the club. So it's actually him, right? So he's like, "Who are you?" She's like, "How could you do this to me? Blah blah blah. Like you've been messing around." Out walks a woman who's his wife, and she's like, "Oh, you're still." Because I think in the beginning she knew about the wife, and then he said he divorced her or something, right? So she's like, "Oh, you're back with your wife. Is this why you didn't want to be with me?" So what she does, she calls Simran, her cousin, who she's been corresponding with a lot about this, because she also knows Bobby apparently. Simran goes, "Oh no, it's just that his ex-wife is there. He loves you, don't believe it. His ex-wife is there. She's like very controlling, whatever, blah, blah, blah." So Bobby's like, "What the fuck is going on? I never seen you before. I don't know you." She's like, "I've been talking to you for years." He's like, "All right, you've been talking to me? Call my phone right now." She shows him his face on her phone, right? He's like, "That's not my number. Call that number." Call the number, his phone don't ring. In her mind, she's so ingrained in this, she's so fucking involved. She thinks that him and the ex-wife are in on it, and that there's a dummy phone in the house, like on some Scream shit, like copy phones.
Yeah.
So eventually, she goes home, and she calls Simran, her cousin. Simran comes over. She has a very gloomy expression on her face, right? And she's like, "I gotta let you know something right now.
Oh, boy.
I've been Bobby the whole time." And she's like, "What?" She just goes crazy. She starts hysterical crying on the floor. And Simran just sitting there like, eh. She calls her best friend over, and her best friend comes in. I think it might have been a guy. And she's like, "Oh, she catfished me for 10 years. Simran's still standing there. She's like, "Oh, okay." Now, I would hope that if I called somebody over there, like, Simran would be getting that ass beat, okay? Like, I hope if I'm in that much of a distraught case, somebody
Simran
would...
was a chick?
Simran was a girl, yeah. So I think it was a guy that came over, so obviously he wasn't going to do it, but somebody needed to beat Simran's ass.
Yeah, for real.
So Simran never even apologized. She just leaves. Now, the guy, Bobby, who was really Bobby, that was actually Bobby, she just pretended to be him, now he knows about it. So now they don't know what to do about it. That's pretty much like almost the end of the podcast. Then you find out what happens, like what are the repercussions of it. So Bobby goes to the police. He's like, "Yo, this woman was trying to be me for X amount of years." They're like, "Oh, you got to give this to the police where she's from." So she went to her police station and was giving them the details. Like, "There's really nothing we can do about this. Like, you got fucking catfish. Like, ain't nothing we can do about that." So basically, that's the end of the story, is that it was her cousin the whole time. And get this, all 30 people in Bobby's family were fake too. My man made like 38 profiles to get this girl. It's her cousin. At the end of the show, you never know why Simran did it. You never know. They even try to talk to Simran. She doesn't give any explanation. The only thing you get is that she takes her to court, and the only thing they've gotten so far is she has to write an apology letter to her, because Simran's lawyers are ruthless. She's like top executive at a company, like she's mad rich, blah blah blah.
What?
Yeah, big time, big boss. So the only thing she gets, as of the last time I heard it, was an apology letter that she can only show to like 10 people, and they have to approve the 10 people. Like, what's the point?
Yeah,
What's the point of that? So that's what she got out of it. And right now, I think she's still trying to take legal action against Simran. Apparently, Simran is not at her top executive job anymore. Maybe the word's going around. I don't know. But a little fun fact about Simran. So JJ, the brother that apparently died, he's still alive. And JJ said that Simran, he was dating her, and she had a history of like manipulating him, and kind of, he was with her online, but she was doing like shiesty things online, like, oh, telling him I'm here and I'm not really there, or I have cancer. But then she has cancer and he's crying about it. His like cousin would go on Simran's Facebook and be like, "Bro, she's skydiving right now. What are you talking about? She don't got cancer." So she had a history of also making other dummy accounts
So she's a practical
Yeah,
liar.
she
Okay.
had like that whole world she created. She also created for somebody else. Can't remember the exact situation, but not the first time she made a whole world to envelop somebody in and catfished them. So that's the end of the story. It was a cousin. It was awful. It was horrible. You should actually listen to the show because they do interviews. They do an interview with Kirit's dad, and he's kind of like, I mean, like, you know, it sucks, but, you know, it is what it is. You should move on. Here's my thing now. Let me give my little perspective on this. It does suck.
Yeah.
You got bad.
You got real bad.
But she was kind of like, I don't like how people are portraying me as a little naive. I think she said something like naivete was brought up. You're a little naive, though. You're in your 30s, and this is happening. Everybody has been catfished, all right? And this day and age, though, I'm going to tell her this, too. Like, this was 10 years ago. My friend was trying to catfish me 10 years ago, like as a joke, just to fuck with me. He was going to tell me eventually, right? But I figured it out because I knew at that time I was in high school, but again, about 10 years ago, had a backward search. So I backward searched the picture. And I knew how to do that. So, like, let's say I got hit up on a dating app at that time and I knew the picture was too good to be true. I backward searched it. I remember one time I did it and I was like, I remember backward searching this person's picture. And I just laughed when I looked at what came up, and I texted him back. I said, next time you try to catfish somebody, don't do it with a Canadian supermodel, you dumbass. Because I just backwards searched it, and I found it was a Canadian supermodel. Do it with a regular person, which is what she did. And she was smart because she did it with somebody who was real and was in the community. Because I think she's like Indian or something. Like she's like a, I think she's Indian. So it was like they were a very tight-knit community. So people knew of him. It was just removed enough for her not to actually know him. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. She was slick with it. But you're getting catfish for 10 years? That's a little much. Let's not even say 10. Let's say the 3 that it took from the hospital to when she met him. That's a little naive, my man, for you to be doing that at 30. You know, much love to her. She seems like a sweet girl, but you're lacking. You're slacking. That wasn't the right. You needed to be more diligent. You needed to be more conservative with your feelings. You needed to figure that one out, dude.
I feel like she just knew she was naive, and instead of just taking that and be like, wow, I'm naive and I need to learn to protect myself and grow from this experience, she wants to defend that. And that's not the right way to go about this. You got played. You got. And you know what? I do wish justice on her because the manipulation part is probably the hardest part for her, right? She started off young. And then this person got her own cousin got her when she was young.
No, she wasn't young. She was in her 30s when it started.
So she's like 40 now.
Yeah, she was in her 30s when it started.
Oh, yeah.
Nah, that's different, bro.
That's what I'm saying. She was already like past her 20s when this shit went down. So she's around 40-something now, maybe.
I understand if you're doing this in your teenage years.
That's what I'm saying.
But
So my opinion, like, again, it sucks. There should be no lawsuit, really. Mm-hmm. You got to take that. I mean, listen. Here's what I would say, and I'm sure Mo would agree with this. Mm-hmm. You have 2 options. I don't advocate for this. You go fuck them up. Now, I wouldn't advocate her to do that because she has good lawyers and all that stuff, right? Like if this was like some street shit, anybody think about lawyers, you go fuck them up. Maybe you don't kill them, but you go handle that, right? If that's what you want to do, if that's what you're about. Or you let karma fuck them up if you believe in that, and you let it go. You realize you messed up on your own too. You can't not take responsibility here.
it was your fault for
Realize
believing
that you got played, as Mo said, and you were manipulated by a good manipulator. You got at least take that. At least know that that person got you good. It wasn't no little operation.
No.
All right? But you got to take that one on the chin and let karma hit. That's what I would do probably. I would do that. Unless, I mean, maybe if it was a guy that catfished me, we'd have to handle that. But if it was a girl, maybe I actually don't know what I would do. I'm not in that situation.
You'll have to hire somebody.
I'd have to think about it. I have to contemplate. What I tell you I wouldn't do is a lawsuit. That's what I wouldn't do.
Yeah.
I think it's a bad move. I think you need to let go.
I mean, it depends on what it is for. Like, I mean, if somebody's out there on the internet,
and
fucking
she
up your
didn't
name,
get her for any money. which was the sickest part. A lot of the ending of the show is them trying to figure out why she did it.
Yeah.
They think she's just a psychopath, a sociopath.
Probably.
Because she's saying that when she was in the car crying about it, like going home, that Simran was just sitting there playing the game. Like she had no remorse when she even told her no remorse. So you got those two options. Again, I don't advocate for the first one, but you know, you got to do what you got to do. If you want to go handle that privately, or do you want to just let it go and let karma handle it? I tell you, I would probably advocate for the second one. Unless you got really fucked. Unless they really played you. Like, if they played you out some big money, you might have go handle that, brother.
Yeah.
If somebody said was out there on the internet saying I was doing something that I never did before and slandering my name and using profiles, because that's happened.
Bobby, he
has a legit,
he got some, because that's like identity theft at that point.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is.
You know what I mean? So Bobby maybe have the one with the lawsuit. You can kind of get your justification. You get your justice from Bobby's end.
Yeah.
But again, the police force were basically like, they're not taking it serious, and they were giving her the runaround. They were giving her a lot of hard times with that. But apparently there's movement in the lawsuit. Apparently there's some people gonna do it pro bono. So hey, listen, if there is justice from a lawsuit, good for you. It's just not something I think anybody would do.
Damn, Shorty, you wasted too much time. Like, people really got to give themselves a time, especially when you're online with dating somebody. Like, give yourself like 6 months. If you don't see somebody's face in 6 months, you know, at all, less than that, like, it's time to go.
Yo, Thomas, remember that chick I was talking to? I kept inviting her to places. She didn't want to come.
Yeah.
So I just cut her off.
Yeah, that's it.
I gave her like 6 months. That's it.
This was probably the perfect concoction for Simran. Simran was lethally smart, probably even smarter. Like, she probably could have done even smarter things, more ruthless things. She probably could have got money. So she's lucky she didn't. And this lady was naive enough. It was a perfect storm. She was naive enough. Simran was smart enough and evil enough. Glad she wasn't eviler.
It seems like she just wanted like to put people through the ringer and make them feel chaotic in their head and low and depressed themselves. That's what it seemed like she got off of.
And get this, right? Get this. You reminded me of this. So while they're doing the lawsuit, they're like, "Oh, you wanna sue Simran? Here's our argument. Simran was underage while this was all going on. So we're gonna say, let's just say that you were the bad one in this situation because you knew that this was going on and you were leading Simran on." So they were trying to come at her for that angle and scare her for a while and basically say, "Oh, you're grooming her."
Underage? How rich is Simeon?
Yeah, Simran got some sick lawyers, bro.
Yeah.
You know, money buys a lot. Money buys a lot.
It
She must be born into money because that is crazy.
You guys should definitely listen to the show if you got some time. It was a little bit of a slow start for me, and I was like, it kind of permeated my mind for a day, and I was like, let me go back and actually listen to it, like for another episode. And it was banging. It was a banger. But you feel bad for the girl, and then you come to the conclusion that we came to, like, you were 30. Don't even, and to most credit, you spent a lot of time. Don't waste any more in the courts.
Exactly.
Don't waste any more in the courts. I mean, listen,
honestly,
what you probably should do is get a bag off of it like you're doing. Sell your story.
Yeah, sell your story.
Sell your story and see if you could smear her fucking name.
You got a fucking podcast out of it, right?
Yeah. At this point, listen, you got a letter of acknowledgement that basically says she did it, right? Now, you may not be able to show that right now, but that's enough evidence to say, listen, she did it. Now go sell your story. Go write a book. Go make as much money as you can with your story. And if they say, "Oh, you're smearing my client's name," I got a fucking letter that says she did it.
She did it.
So you want to bring that out, partner? Let's bring it out because she did it. So this can't be slanderous. It's not inflammatory.
Somebody's definitely giving her that game plan. No doubt about it.
To make the
no
bag.
doubt about it. Exactly what you're saying, how you're saying it. Somebody's definitely saying the same advice, especially if she's going pro bono. Definitely, they have to.
You gotta turn shit into sugar in life, baby. You gotta make it
the
bad.
fact.
You gotta make it good. It sucks, but you know you gotta know. What sucks about it is to hear that she's like, I thought I was gonna get like a family out of this, and now I'm like in my 40s and I feel
family.
Like, well, she's saying like no. Well, she's saying like, what's sad is that she thought it was real, right? And that she's saying she wasted her 30s on something that was fake when she could have been out there. Because she wasn't no slouch either. She was dating guys before that Valentine's Day where they got together.
Yeah.
She was dating guys. From what I understand, she's not ugly. She had a good job in the radio that she had to quit because of all this stuff. She was going through so much turmoil that she quit her job and everything. She's back on the radio. So, shout out to her. She's back doing her thing. But it was sad to hear her say that she felt like she wasted 10 years of her life where she could have been actually getting a relationship that would have been significant.
Yeah,
that was sad.
But that's her own fucking fault. She
It is.
Like you said,
It is.
like you said, you gotta feel bad, but you can't. It's her fault.
I feel a little bad in that.
No, I understand what you feel bad about, but it's like we all have a point where you have to ask yourself all these questions. The fact that it took you 10 years to ask those fucking important questions, you wasn't worried about your fucking life as much as you say you are now. Because if it was worrying, you would have did this shit. You would have found some way, or you would have cut it out.
Yeah, you know what? She would talk to the nurses and stuff, and that was the witness protection. She would talk to the nurse like, "Oh, what room?" Like she would ask little questions like, "Oh, I can't tell you, I can't tell you." And she would be talking as the nurse, Simran. She would be talking as the nurse. Like he'd be like, "I'm gonna give you the phone to my nurse," and then the nurse would be like, "Hello," and somebody else also said this because she also talked to, I believe, a guy in that group of 30 people, and the guy that ran the podcast was like, "How did Simran put on a guy's voice and you fell for that?" And she's like, "Oh, well, I don't know. I forgot what excuse she gave, but it was kind of like, I don't know if Simran's really out here doing voices. Like, how good could she be? Is she a fucking impressionist? Like, come on. You could look up the hospital that he's in, try and find the room. Again, witness protection, but there's ways to figure stuff out. Especially, this was not in the 90s. This was 10 years ago. You can already backwards search stuff.
It's part of Simeon's plan.
You could already backwards search. You could already Google. There was ways to find out in them 3 years that man was not really that man.
Yeah.
You could have hired that PI years ago.
For real.
She got enveloped in the drama.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Just get your bag. Just get your bag and let Karma do what they want.
I hope she has some eggs frozen over or some shit.
Yeah, right. Hopefully she's, you never know. She could still have some time. She's not 50 yet, so.
I mean, no, she's not. She's gonna have to bang it out real quick. La.
Maybe when she goes on tour and stuff, there'll be guys waiting to, make up for lost time.
Oh, cash up with your fish.
Listen, let me tell you, that reading the Harry Potter book was the funniest thing of that whole podcast.
Oh my god.
I wanted to hear more about that. Like, you read him a whole Harry Potter book? Wow. And you know how much satisfaction Simran must have had after that? Like, I got
must
her.
have been laughing so
I got her.
hard.
Yeah.
How about you read Lion Rich in the Wardrobe next? Read you know what you should read? I would have treated her like Audible. I'm like, hey, what do you need? What do you want to read, Mo? A series of unfortunate events? Hey, God, I really like a series of unfortunate. Can you read it for me, please? Get the file. Here you go, Mo.
Shit is fucking wild. It's fucking wild, bro. Unbelievable.
But shout out to the guy that made the podcast. Did a beautiful job. It was packaged very well. It's called Sweet Bobby. Again, you guys check it out. That's all we got to talk about right now. Anybody have anything you want to bring up before we end this bitch?
Yo, it's been fucking great. Glad to be back. Yeah. Can't wait for y'all to hear the next episode.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that.
MILF Alert next week. Everybody get ready. MILF Alert, baby.
I'm definitely listening to that.
Yeah. I just want to say this is also unprecedented that we have been doing episodes in advance the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, we have.
So you know what? We're coming up, baby.
Coming up, baby.
In advance. We don't usually have episodes in the can.
Mm-hmm.
We don't usually have episodes in the can like that, but Zach's was in the can. That one was in the can, and technically this one's in the can because we're doing this on Saturday. We usually do this on Monday, right before you hear it. Like, as soon as we're done, y'all hear it. Basically.
Like 6 hours before.
Yeah.
That's
And let's give a shout out to me. I want to shout myself out.
Shout yourself out.
Because we have been, y'all already know, if y'all OGs of the show, we used to do this shit. What time is it now?
11 o'clock almost.
Bro, it's 12:50. We wouldn't even be thinking about doing the show yet.
Nope.
We used to text him or hey, what time are we doing the show? About 2 a.m. We'll start at 2 a.m. We used to end at 6 a.m.
Facts.
All right, so shout out to
Some
me
rookie
and
shit.
us for starting earlier in the night.
Let's go.
All right?
We ain't no babies in this podcast.
I'm
getting
sure
no more.
I'm sure Mo, you must be happy about that because that was a big discrepancy you had. You had a big gripe up with me about that.
About
That we used to start at like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just on so many different levels, but I knew you was gonna get to this point. I knew you was gonna find your flow. I knew you was gonna find where you wanted things to be. So I'm glad it turned into this because of that, what you learned throughout this almost 2 years, right?
Yep.
We are actually able to record and do the things we are doing right now and have things out for you guys, and that just means that it's going to be more increasing shows and shit one day. It's going to get better and better.
One thing we never slacked on was actually having an episode out. It was just everything that
fact.
came with putting that episode out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, congratulations to us. We're almost 2 years in.
yeah.
Little heads up. 2-week break is almost here after next month. Don't have the date right now. We're going on break. The last show before the break will be March 29th. So
When is our special episode? What day is that coming
Then
out?
we come back.
yeah, when we come back, we're not even going to talk about that right now.
Yeah.
But
Gotcha.
you already know the 2-year anniversary of the show's coming up. So we're going to be doing something fun for that. But we got a whole month of shows ahead. So let's not even focus on that. Again, next week, got the big show. You can find me at It's Gritty Bitch on Instagram. Make sure you go to the Gritty World YouTube channel where you can see my vlogs whenever I feel like posting them. But make sure you definitely go to the Gritty Knows Best YouTube channel because that's where we have the video episodes for this that we drop every freaking Friday. Go to the Gritty Knows Best Instagram if you want to see an OG picture of us from when we started on the Skype days. Remember those?
Ooh.
We used to do the show on Skype. Forgot why we
Skype
stopped,
days.
but we stopped.
God, we stopped.
And there's a picture up there of us. Mo, take it away.
Hey, what's up? You can find me on Most Great Adventures on Instagram. And yeah, things are in the work. So I'm happy.
Back on
That's like
Instagram, right, Mo?
I haven't seen a picture, so
I saw you back.
you saw his body?
I see you looking at my stories.
Oh, okay. I thought you posted.
Oh, you mean yeah. I look at everybody's stuff, but I don't usually post. And it's funny because I always have pictures.
You're a
and stuff,
lurker.
and I always forget
You're
to,
lurking
like,
around,
fucking-
huh?
Hey, he's lurking.
Crows,
But I be
crows in the
I be
lurch.
watching you guys. It's been a great year. So all my hype birthday time is over into the summer. So it's time to get back together.
Until the summer.
Yeah, your
Yeah.
birthday's in the summer?
You
got two birthdays?
The girls, my girls is in the summer, and
Oh, okay. Wait, what?
so you know what I'm
girls?
saying. So
Oh,
like
Jay?
anything, yeah.
What's Jay
so
again?
She's in
July, right? Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
July
okay,
6th.
okay. I forgot. I'm about to say you have another birthday.
Yeah. So I'm saying I got plenty of time before
And we would love to
my
hear
time.
after the MILF episode what Jay thought about it, actually. Maybe we'll,
Oh man,
maybe we'll get her on a little quick. We'll see what happens. Not going to promise
see.
anything. No promises.
We'll see.
Justin, go ahead. Everybody get ready. Everybody write it down. This is going to be long. This is going to be a long. Everybody got their pens out? Who got a pen? Let me get my pen. Hold on. Mo,
Take
get
notes,
yourself,
take notes.
yeah, get yourself a pen.
Just
Right.
next.
All right.
Follow me on Twitter at Real Jason Bittis, Instagram and TikTok at Real Jason Bittis 93. My YouTube, Justin Simbitis. My gaming channel, Sims Gaming.
Wait, go back to the YouTube. What's the YouTube?
Justin Simbitis.
And what's the Twitch?
My Twitch
Yeah, you-
is Real Jason Bittis 93.
What do you do on Twitch?
I do nothing.
Oh, so why do you plug it?
Why are you plugging?
You asked.
The fuck are you
What was the
doing
last thing
right
you
now?
plugged?
I said Instagram and TikTok. I said nothing about Twitch.
You said
You ain't
YouTube,
seen me
Instagram,
plugging in my
TikTok.
YouTube channel?
YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. That's it.
Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
We'll go back on Twitch. We need another drop. We need another drop.
Yeah.
All right. We love you. Don't get catfish for 10 years. All right. Make sure you backwards search. Make sure you put down that cookie right now. We're still on the air. Damn it. This guy, I don't like what he's doing. He's eating way too much.
Peace.
Peace and
Cut the
love.
feed. They can't see this shit no more. He's
See you
wildin'.
next time.